Dabba 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 da. Lupin the vlog. Keep an eye on the beauty contest is the 18th episode in the original Green Jacket Lupin III the series part 1. The Miss Global Beauty Pageant is about to take place, and Lupin and Jigen have their eye on the pageant's promoter, one Mr. Smith, who, 10 years ago, used to be a world-renowned art thief, but was let go because they couldn't find enough evidence, yada yada, this is all a ruse. So this is actually pretty clever. Mr. Smith has stolen a whole bunch of famous artwork from around the world, and he's using this beauty pageant as a way to auction off his artwork to all the top sellers, also disguised as beauty pageant judges. In the pamphlet, each representative from a different country's beauty will also be representing that country's famous artist and their artwork. The setup is done very well. Lupin kind of alludes that both Goemon and Zenigata will be playing a big role in this heist to steal the artwork from Mr. Smith, but he doesn't go into it right away, which I kind of like because it kind of leans more into the mystery of where the artwork is, how Lupin and the gang are gonna steal it, and what role Zenigata would have in all this. I gotta tell you, one of the biggest highlights of this episode is when, in the middle of the pageant, from a flying airplane, Goemon flies down, parachutes down, and starts slicing up the place with Lupin and Jigen, disguised as TV cameramen, running around and chasing after him with their film cameras. This was all a ploy. Goemon was all set up to tear up the place, and then Lupin and the gang go back and review the footage of Goemon destroying everything to kind of piece together where Mr. Smith is hiding the artwork and how they're gonna get a hold of the artwork, which is pretty clever. There's a lot of cleverness to this episode. And as mentioned, Zenigata is also brought in under the guise that Lupin had sent a letter to Mr. Smith telling him that he was going to steal all the beauties that the contest had to offer. I normally don't like to spoil the endings to these episodes, and if you haven't watched Keep an Eye on the Beauty Contest, I highly recommend you do. This is one of the better episodes from the Green Jacket Lupin III Part 1 series. But I have to tell you what Lupin does with the artwork. So, the artwork was actually stored in the beauty pageant's suitcases that were housing their different outfits and dresses for the pageant. So to briefly summarize, what Lupin essentially does is that he takes the beauty pageant contestants, stuffs them in the case, has it set up where Zenigata crashes into Mr. Smith's auction of the artwork, Mr. Smith thinking that it's the artwork inside the suitcases, but open up and oh no, there is a person in there. This is far worse than having priceless artifacts or an artwork in those cases. And in the end, Lupin steals all the boats too, leaving them trapped on this island and sailing off with these priceless artworks stitched together into a giant sail. I probably can't show you the sail in full because there are a few nude art pieces in this, and YouTube doesn't really like it when that is ever shown on their platform. Fantastic episode, really well thought out and very well written too. Highly recommend that you folks check out Keep an Eye on the Beauty Pageant, and if you have already, let me know what you thought in the comments down below. Until then, Lupin fans, this has been the Manga Man, and I'll catch you later.
さて来週はフランスフェア警備のため来日する俺のじっちゃまアルセーヌの宿敵ガリマール警部3代目との対決だ。論理と科学でルパン三世に挑戦するなんてキザなこと抜かしやがってもう我慢できない。全部いただいちゃおう。奴の気違いじみた物量作戦に俺がどう立ち向かうか。来週のどっちが勝つか3代目チャンネルは決まったぜ。